Hi, I'm Frank. I'm the developer of a device called the Plazing.
So what is this device, Frank? It's an oven console that you made custom.
So you nailed it. It's a toaster oven, and it has a video game device attached to it, and it has one launch title. And what you do with it is you put food into the toaster oven, you toast your food, and as you're playing the game, you feel the food toasting, and at the end, you eat the food.
So where did this idea come about?
Oh, well, okay, so it's been a few things. There's been a few things that it came from. The earliest thing was that I used to sell chicken nuggets. So I would go to gaming events and I would sell chicken nuggets. I would set up my own table and sell them for $1 each. And what I invented was I put a jelly bean inside every chicken nugget. So it's a video game because you don't know what type of jelly bean you're going to get. They're all...
You gamified chicken nuggets.
Yeah, exactly. I gamified it with really good jelly beans. Like I always use Jelly Belly. Jelly Belly are like the best. Like I learned from doing it that I was like, oh, Jelly Belly jelly beans, like what they're doing there is like really, really good. And it's important because like it's important for like the culinary industry. Like those jelly beans are really, really good. But yeah, so I would put them in the chicken nugget, and like the first time I did it, I was like, I'm just gonna do it as like a joke to see like how it goes. And then like I tasted it, and I was like, oh, this is really good. So I just like kept doing it, and people were like buying them because they're at game events and there's no food, and like the only food options are like you have to pay like $15
for a cold sandwich or a hot dog. Yeah,
exactly. So people would buy the chicken nuggets, and I like them. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep doing this. So I did that for a long time. And I always call it a video game because it has like like you said, we gamified it. So I call it a video game, but I always wanted to take the video part to the next level. So I like wanted to make like a video game console where you can have the chicken nuggets, but also literally just be playing a video game as you eat the chicken nugget. So that was part of it, and the other big part of it was the KFConsole, which I'm sure most people are familiar with. KFC's video game console, which I just found out yesterday, actually, that it is, in fact, I confirmed it. It is an April Fool's joke, and they got me, though.
It's not real, yeah.
They got me. I mean, it seems like but a lot of people knew, too. But a lot of people saw through it, but I was like, oh, I think they're going to release it. But I found out for sure that it's an April Fool's joke, yeah. So they're not going to release it. So they're not delivering on what they promised. And I was like, I need to fill that void.
This is part of the market that I can target.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, like, people are super excited about it. Everybody went nuts for it. So I was like, well, why don't we actually do that? And it's kind of been similar to the chicken nugget game because I, like, started making it and, like, I'm not sure what it's going to be like. I'm just going to do it and see if it's fun. And then I did it, and then like I play it with my friends, and like we all have fun playing with it. We call it like an indoor campfire. So it's like you can just have a campfire inside with your friends, and you could be like eating so we make like s'mores. We make like a banana with chocolate chips inside of it. I made a egg McMuffin with it recently. Like, yeah, you can make like actual good food with it, and you play. It's a high score game. So that's the first title that we have for it is it's like a high score arcade game. That's part of the fun of it is like you compete with your friends for the high score, but we're gonna have lots of games for it, and it's an open platform, so people can make their own games for it as well.
So to clarify, as you're playing the game, does it cook the food faster?
No, that's a good question though. So that's something that I'm working on. This is the original prototype version. It's only existed for a few months now, and it is released, and all the instructions for building it are released. The maker part of it is released as well. So like you can make games for it now, but there's still lots of stuff that I want to do with it. So one of them is that I want to be able to control the toaster with it. I have like electronics experience, and I've done a lot of alternative controller games. I made a game with a skateboard, with a skate deck. That's like DDR with a skateboard, and a few other alternative controller games. But I'm still like kind of like beginner novice level with electronics. So like
so you're a developer, that's a coder, but that's like electrical engineering level stuff.
Exactly. Because when you start working with the toasting element, like the heating element, like you have to plug that into the wall. Like you have to be using like wall power to get something that hot. And it's like dangerous, and like I can't like just be like experimenting with it like I do with like, you know,
With compiling code, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that too. Well, yeah, exactly. That too. Yeah. There's a whole difference between electronics and coding. Yeah. That I'm learning about. But I want to hack the heating element, so I'm talking to somebody about it, and he's helping me through it. And I have an engineer friend that I've worked with, and he's going to help me with it.
So can you do like a breakdown of the parts, and it can be very basic breakdown of the parts you use, like the wiring, the LCD screen, and the oven itself.
Sure. So the main thing, basically, there's three main parts. So the three main parts are the oven, the gaming console, which is like a Raspberry Pi gaming console, and the controller. So there's also a custom controller for it. So those are the three main parts, and like each of them works on their own. Like it's just a toaster oven. Like you can just like toast with it. And the Raspberry Pi gaming console is like, it's also its own thing. It's like you can buy kits for these online. It's my own kit that I'm putting together, but like you can buy a kit where you can make a Raspberry Pi gaming console. And it has like a mini LCD screen. It's 5 inches. It's vertically oriented. So it's got most of the games that I'm planning to port to it are like mobile-based games or like mobile-friendly games. So I use the vertical orientation, the portrait, and the controller. So the controller is also a custom controller. It's a 2-button controller. But it technically could be used for like any other device.
It's just an input, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a very simple input. Yeah, just 2 buttons.
So what's the end goal here? You said you want it to be open source. Will you eventually sell kits altogether? People can purchase from you to build this on their own?
Right. I'm working on kits. That is one angle that I'm exploring. And I want to have kits where people can build this themselves and they can play with their friends at home. I'm also exploring the idea of doing loot boxes. So, so if you have one, you subscribe, and every month you get like you get a recipe. So you get everything that you need to build the recipe, and it has all the recipes are actually the first thing that are coming next. So we're exploring the idea of loot boxes, which would be like you get all the stuff needed for the recipe, and you're able to make it.
So where can people go to find more information about this kit and your development? You have a website?
Yeah, I got a website. It's shampoo.oo. So there's 5 O's total /Plazing, so that's the name of the console, Plazing.
That's all that was left in 2023. That's the only URL you can get now.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I think that the OO domain, top level domain name is gonna be like the top someday. You know, where it's starting from the bottom.